Good afternoon and welcome to the DCTV News at Noon program.
This program is sponsored in its entirety by the Southwest TV Translator Association and supported by the Dolores County Broadcasting Network as seen on DCTV Channel 32.1.
The News at Noon program is in the experimental pilot stage. We hope to bring a variety of news and commentary for the Four Corners region. Give us your feedback and news alerts at 677-4119.
With all that said, I'm Kendra Cook, and my co-hosts are Kelsey Kiesling and Jerry Tope. Now for January 6, 2016, here's the news. At this year's CES, or Consumer Electronics Show, held in Las Vegas every year at this time, viewers get to take a peek at the new technologies coming down the pipeline in both the near and longer-term futures. One of the trending sectors revolves around the drone arena. This is interesting to the adventuresome recreationalists, hobbyists, and sports enthusiasts, but is also becoming a tool used for a variety of private sector commercial endeavors. In the agricultural field, literally, farmers and ranchers are just starting to find out how the use of a drone may enhance land management practices, as well as safety and security issues and maintenance work. At this year's show, there will be 3 discussion presentation events being held covering the drone issues on the 7th. Managing low-altitude airspace for safety and privacy. A second conference will cover rules for drones, best policies and practices. And a third one is titled Use Cases, Amazing Drone Benefits. As drones can create tremendous societal benefits, they discuss a future where drones deliver packages, aid in search and rescue missions, and improve agriculture, all which already exist to some degree, and look forward to what other kinds of professions and businesses are using unmanned aircraft systems today and how well they are performing. One new interesting device comes from a company called Orac. It's called the hydrofoil, which is a hybrid drone that uses its propellers to move on fresh water. It's not waterproof, but its nautical structure props the hydrofoil drone up 5 to 6 centimeters above the water in a balanced manner. They say it is fast and easy to pilot, speeds up to 6.2 miles per hour on the water. You can take pictures from above, it works with your smartphone, and recharges in just 23 minutes. And if you didn't get a drone under the tree this year, hint, hint, this one is in the $160 price range if anyone's interested.
According to the Durango Herald, families of both victims and defendants wept Tuesday morning as 6th Judicial District Judge Jeffrey Wilson sentenced Aaron Williams to 13 years in prison for his part in a fatal shooting in March at the Iron Horse Inn that killed one and injured another. Court documents say Williams and Tyree Augsbury Jones, both former Fort Lewis College football players, went to the Iron Horse Inn at 5800 Main Avenue, where Augsbury Jones, 23, allegedly shot his former roommate, Brian Keith Moore, then 53, over an argument about marijuana plants, and Moore's roommate, Daniel Johnson, 50, who was not involved with the dispute. Moore survived, Johnson did not. Williams stole a tablet computer from the Iron Horse Inn and pleaded guilty in July to first-degree burglary and a crime of violence, which carried a prison sentence of 10 to 30 years in the Colorado Department of Corrections. On Tuesday, Wilson handed down 13 years of prison time, plus 5 years of parole. He credited Williams with 295 days of jail time already served.
One of the challenges that the cannabis dispensaries live with for now in Colorado is the inability to process and handle money through normal banking channels. As it remains federally illegal to deal with cash from the sale of marijuana, entrepreneurs have been working on establishing alternative means to safely handle the large and growing cash transactions. As reported in the Durango Herald on Tuesday, a federal judge dismissed a lawsuit filed by a Denver credit union against the Federal Reserve in its effort to provide banking services to marijuana businesses. U.S. District Judge R. Brooke Jackson noted in Tuesday's decision that marijuana remains an illegal drug under federal law despite being legal under state law. The courts cannot use equitable powers to issue an order that would facilitate criminal activity, Jackson ruled. Fourth Corner Credit Union, created specifically to serve marijuana businesses, sued the U.S. Federal Reserve Bank of Kansas City, whose territory includes Colorado, over its denial of the credit union's master account, the account that ties all of its financial dealings to other banks. Federal law says that every financial institution shall be given access to a master account, but they insist that the Federal Reserve is under no mandate to allow a master account that would facilitate activities that would violate federal law. The Federal Reserve is a private banking banking establishment.
As reported in the Durango Herald, President Barack Obama's plan to expand background checks and enact other measures to combat gun violence through executive actions drew mixed reviews Tuesday from Colorado politicians. Senator Cory Gardner, Republican of Colorado, said Obama had taken divisive, unilateral action that infringed upon the rights of gun owners. Representative Scott Tipton, Republican of Cortez, echoed Gardner's sentiment and added that the legality of the executive actions would be challenged. But other Colorado politicians were more supportive of the efforts, citing the state's expanded background checks as an example of how improved safety standards save lives. Senator Michael Bennet, Democrat of Colorado, has advocated for expanding background checks and has previously supported similar legislative efforts in the U.S. Senate.
The Durango Herald reported on the state of the health exchange options in rural Colorado. They reported that more businesses can now shop for health insurance within the state's small business marketplace, and it is a step aimed at helping to boost enrollment in the group plans and control prices. Currently, 377 small businesses provide health insurance for their employees through Connect for Health, Colorado's small business health insurance marketplace, set up under the Affordable Care Act. Since the exchange opened in October of 2013, the small business marketplace was available only to businesses with fewer than 49 employees. But on January 1st, it became available to businesses up to 99 employees. Greater enrollment also spreads the risk the insurance companies are taking among more people, and that helps control costs. However, rural areas in Colorado still face higher costs for health care and therefore higher insurance premiums than people in other parts of the state. They provide the example that a man on the western slope could pay $446 on his premium through the health exchange, while a man with similar health habits could pay $259 in Colorado Springs, according to a 2012 data from the Center for Improving Value in Healthcare. The small businesses are also likely paying more for care in rural areas because there are fewer hospitals and clinics competing with one another. By having higher costs for businesses to comply with the insurance regulations in southwest Colorado, it becomes an impairment to attracting and maintaining business in our region.
As reported in the Durango Herald, it was a fairly typical amount for a high-impact holiday such as New Year's, 4th of July, and Memorial Day, said Lieutenant Ray Shoup, after arresting 5 drunk drivers on New Year's. He could not immediately identify when or where the arrests took place. There were no reports of drunken driving crashes, which is something the department strives for by doing strict DUI enforcement, he said. It is tragic to have to notify the family of loved ones that someone was killed in a drunken driving crash, he said. Durango resident Brad Abeta offered free rides to anyone asking through the holiday weekend. He gave rides to about 55 people, primarily from 5 p.m. Thursday until 6 a.m. Friday. Abeta lost 2 friends to drunken driving around Halloween 2014. He decided to offer inebriated celebrants rides on Halloween and New Year's Eve as a way to honor their memory and to discourage others from making a similar mistake.
For the Forerunners and Upper Dolores River, we have a winter storm warning in effect until midnight above 6,500 feet. This includes Dove Creek, Monticello, Cortez, and Mancos. So far as we've not been hit as heavy, the snow so far hasn't been as heavy as expected. But one bank of clouds can change that in a hurry, and there's one on the way that will be passing over us this afternoon. Temperatures are warm enough that there's a lot of melting in the mix, and as things refreeze, it'll make a lot of hard snow shoveling. Snow accumulations of 4 to 8 inches are still possible in the higher elevations, but 1 to 3 are what is most likely for us here, with less in Cortez and toward the Four Corners. Yes, this is only about a third to half of earlier predictions. Snow levels are not expected to go below 5,000 feet, but this is variable. As far as Durango is concerned, rain and snow mix is possible. Snow flurry conditions will reduce visibility to less than a half a mile. Snowpack or slush are also possible. Although prevailing wind conditions are not expected to get above 10 miles per hour, our canyons and mountains and the normal storm turbulence make gusts within flurries likely. Temperatures for tomorrow through the next Tuesday are expected to be mid-30s, declining to the mid-20s for highs, and mid-20s tonight, plus or minus 20 Thursday, and teens Friday and Saturday with single digits Sunday and Monday and Tuesday, and getting on to the double digits teens after that. Winds not significantly different than we've had for this last 7 days for the next 7 days. Multiple areas of upper level energy extending from the Central Plains to the West Coast will produce weather across the nation through Thursday evening. The energy coming onshore over California and moving into the southwest will aid in producing rain and higher elevation snow over California and the southwest through Thursday evening. Snow and lower elevation rain will develop over parts of the southern and central Rockies today, continuing to Thursday. And on Thursday, snow and lower elevation rain will develop over parts of the northern Rockies. Meanwhile, upper level energy over the Central Plains will move northeastward into the Great Lakes by Thursday, while another area of upper level energy is moving from the southwest to the southern Central Plains today and into Thursday. Moisture is moving from the Gulf of Mexico northward over the plains and into the Mississippi upper Valley and upper Great Lakes. Snow will develop over parts of the middle and upper Mississippi Valley on this afternoon into the evening. Moving into the upper Great Lakes overnight and continuing through Thursday evening. In addition, the rain is developing over parts of the southern Central Plains and middle Mississippi Valley. The rain will fill in over the southern Central Plains tonight, moving into the lower Mississippi Valley tomorrow. Elsewhere, Florida has been the elsewhere state for about the last month as weather reports have gone. Easterly flow off the Atlantic and upper level energy moving over Florida will aid in producing rain over the southern portion of Florida and along the southeast coast through Thursday evening, when the low level flow becomes less easterly off the Atlantic.
As reported in the Durango Herald, the Durango Planning Commission unanimously approved recommending 12 changes to the Land Use and Development Code, including a provision to allow employer-provided housing. The Community Development Department was inspired to add this type of housing by a motel owner who is providing housing to employees. Another hotel owner is looking into similar housing, said Greg Hotch, the director of the Community Development Department. This change is one of many the city is considering to promote workforce housing. Before an employer could build housing, the business must present a case for how many units it would like to provide and how many people it planned to house, said planner Vicky Vandergrift. As part of the changes, the board also approved a new category in the code to govern businesses that wish to produce non-alcoholic drinks or food on a small scale and offer a restaurant setting for customers to enjoy them. For example, a small coffee roaster who wanted to sell their product wholesale and also run a coffee shop would fit into this category. These proposed changes to the Land Use and Development Code also must be approved by the Durango City Council.
The 4th annual Cortez Idol Singing Competition begins today, January 6th, and also January 13th, with auditions held from 8 to 10 p.m. They'll be selecting 20 finalists this year. There's no entry fee, but singers under 18 must be accompanied by a parent. The competition will be held on Saturday nights at 7 p.m. beginning on January 23rd with the finale on February 27th. This is held at Blondie's Trophy Room at 45 East Main Street in Cortez, with weekly prizes, door prizes, costume contests, and more according to their Facebook page. The winner receives a $1,000 cash prize, with additional cash prizes awarded to second and third places. The event is sponsored by Star Mobile DJ and karaoke by Junior Stafford and hosted by Patrick Allen Jackson.
In related news, as reported in the Durango Herald, a 15-year-old girl who made her performing debut at the Durango Cowboy Poetry Gathering could appear in the singing competition series American Idol later this week. Genevieve Rose Mitchell of Crawford has been a regular performer at the Poetry Gathering the past 3 years, also headlining the Durango Friends of the Arts luncheon while in town. Mitchell auditioned for American Idol's 15th and final season. She is likely to appear on one of the premiere episodes, which will air Wednesday and Thursday on the Fox network. Live shows for the semi-finalists begin in February. Mitchell is known for her authentic country and Western music style, delving into old-time gospel, blues, cowboy, and folk for playing her cello as accompaniment. For the audition, she sang Johnny Cash's hit, Ring of Fire, sung in June Carter's version, said her mother, Karen.
The Colorado Trust is moving forward with the Dolores County community in developing potential project proposals to enhance the health of our community. They will be holding meetings at the Community Center in Dove Creek, Colorado for further organizing, sorting, and planning on this Friday, January 8th from 6 to 8 p.m. and alternatively on Saturday, January 9th from noon to 2 p.m. Food provided by Wild Coffee and childcare can be arranged for if you need to contact Tara Wick in advance. At these meetings, they will be sorting through the results from the wide range of community meetings held thus far and begin to narrow down and prioritize the projects that have the highest purpose and interest and meet the trust criteria. Friday the 8th is also the deadline to submit an application resume and cover letter for the part-time position being offered for a local community facilitator. All info and job description, etc. can be found online at coloradotrust.org.
That's it for today's show. Again, thanks for tuning in. This program is aired live at noon and rebroadcasted at 2:30 and 8 p.m. on Channel 32.1 Dolores County, on Channel 30.4 in Montezuma County, and their cable Channel 5.
You can also re-watch the broadcasts on YouTube at the DCTV News at Noon channel. Be sure to contact us with your news suggestions. All feedback is welcome.
For Kendra Cook, Jerry Tope, and all those working to bring you DCTV and the News at Noon program from Dove Creek, USA, I'm Kelsey Kiesling. See you next time.